Hello, welcome to another edition of Inside the Tape on Inside the Birds. I'm Geoff Mosher. I'm with Adam Caplan. And of course, we're joined by Greg Cosell. He's going to break down all the tape of the Eagles game against the Buccaneers, a game, by the way, that they won 31-25 on the road in a place that they've had a lot of difficulty winning. And we're going to start with the offense in this part one, and part two later in the week. We'll get into defense because, Greg, everybody wants to know about the offense and what in the world can happen for 2 weeks in a row that an offense could look so good in one half and so dormant in another. I'm sure you have all the answers as to why that is.
That's to be honest, it's a hard question to answer.
Sure.
But I will say this. And obviously they're a Super Bowl championship team and they're 4-0. But I think we do know that as a team offensively, they're not really a big passing team. We've talked about this, even going back to last year. I think JalenHurts had 8 or 9 or 10 games in which he did not throw for over 200 yards. Mm-hmm. Now, we've talked a lot about the fact that his scrambling, his design runs, they are absolutely critical to what they do. He had a 29-yard scramble on the first possession, which basically set up the touchdown. Those things really, really matter to them. But if people are looking for reasons and think that all of a sudden they're not a really good passing team, that would be the furthest thing from the truth. They've not been a strong week-to-week passing team going back to the Super Bowl year. So, obviously this week was sort of hit rock bottom when the quarterback goes 0 for 8 for no yards in the second half. That hits rock bottom. But it's not as if this is a team that throws for 300 yards every week and all of a sudden they just fell off a cliff. That's not the way it is.
Right.
So I would ask you this question. First half, Hurts very accurate, threw for 130. It seemed like more, just watching it initially. What were your thoughts just on the first half of the offense overall?
Well, I thought the passing game was good. I thought they were well prepared for the 5 and 6 man pressures. Really well prepared because Hurts got the ball out quickly and beat it. Those throws don't have to be 20-yard throws. There were some really good examples where he just got it out. Look, there was the first play of the game was a 6-man pressure. Hurts quick throw to Barkley, 12 yards in the voided flat. Beautiful. First possession, they win 0 at a nickel. Dennis got clean through the A-gap. Hurts hit a quick slant to Smith for 9 yards. Dean played with a big cushion. It was pitch and catch. So Dennis, even though he was clean through the A-gap, was not a factor. They just handled it extremely well. They were absolutely prepared for it. And then there were some other plays which were not blitzes. He hit Goddard on the seam, 22 yards, which was the exact same play as the Goddard 33-yard touchdown versus the Rams week 3, and they ended up getting the exact same coverage. So it worked out perfectly. And the Calcaterra 16-yarder on the same drive was a busted coverage. So that we can leave alone. But they did good things. It was clear that the coaching staff and Hurts and everybody on the offense were well prepared for the 5 and 6 man pressures. That changed in the second half because they didn't do 5 and 6 man pressures. They switched up and they did a lot of 4-man sim pressures, which is a totally different deal than a 5 and 6 man pressure. And the response to it has to be totally different.
Did you feel like watching the tape, Greg, that the Eagles did a poor job responding to that second half adjustment through either route concepts, or were they just not in sync as an offense? Because there's a difference.
I think there was both of those things, Geoff. I think they really worked hard to try to get the ball to A.J. Brown in the second half in particular when he had 6 or 7 targets. And, I think that there were a couple of times where Hurts, I think, forced the ball to him when the ball should have gone somewhere else. But Jalen almost threw a pick on one of them to AJ on a sit route just off to his right, which should have been picked off. But I think what you said is correct. There were both of those things. The offense did not. I didn't feel like it was very rhythmic. It wasn't. it didn't present a lot of clean, defined reads, which I think has been an issue throughout the first 4 games here and there.
Mm-hmm. What are you? To get back to your original point, the Eagles have never been, at least last year especially, they were not a passing team, but we would always say it's because they are a running team and they run the ball explosively. And now they're not running the ball explosively. And do you think that has impacted their pass offense, or do you just think overall? Well, first of all, what did you see on tape in that regard? Why they're not running the ball well offensively again?
I would say the same things that you normally see, that when your team doesn't run the ball well, is there's not a lot of space. I looked again because I knew we'd be talking this evening at Barkley and his yards before contact, and it's 1.87, which is among the worst in the league. And believe it or not, the team that's really at the bottom of the league are the 49ers, which is even more amazing.
Wow.
But you know, there's not a lot of space for Barkley. I mean, there's just not a lot of space. And we're not saying he's not a great back. That's not the point at all. There's, you know, you do need at some point to get past the first level of the defense. And you can't always do that on your own. In fact, very rarely do you do that on your own. Mm-hmm. So, you know, that's not happening. And, you know, so the offense is, and I'm not being sarcastic at all. You know, this is what the tape shows. They can't run it very well right now, and there's no consistency to the way they're throwing it. So it's. I was having this conversation with my guys on matchup today as we were just watching. You know, everybody's watching different tapes, and we're just talking ball. Yeah. You know, Adam's been here. He knows you just talk ball as you're watching tape, and it's really a very, very difficult thing to figure out. Quite honestly, I mean, they're 4-0. Okay, there's only 2 4-0 teams in football right now, the Eagles and the Bills. Okay, they're a Super Bowl champion. Obviously, last year was different. Barkley, you know, rushed for over 2,000 yards, and you know, Jalen was very good when he needed to be very good. Right now, they can't run it and they can't throw it very well, and they're 4-0. It's a very difficult equation to try to figure out.
And Greg, when I see it first half, like Hurts had, and the rhythmic, that was kind of what you were saying. They were all in sync. Patullo and Hurts seemed to be in sync. It all worked. It just was beautiful. And to come out so flat. Now, the thing is, they were also, if you looked at them throwing on first down, which we all love. I know that. I love that because talking to coaches over the years, they love to throw on first down.
Yeah.
A lot of coaches I've talked to over the years love to do that. I just thought it was beautiful. And Hurts was in a rhythm. And then second half, they come out trying to run the ball. Wasn't working. Hurts, you know, you talked about the 3 throws, which were kind of forced.
Yeah.
It just, there doesn't seem to be any kind of rhythm between one thing or the other. Right when you think they've got the thing solved, right? There's been this riddle of the passing game. The second half comes, and I know you and sitting in with you over the years, NFL films, I think it would drive, like, because you always want to know, like, what are they trying to accomplish, right? Like, when you watch tape, do you say, okay, I think I have an idea of what they're trying to do? Do you say, like, what do you say when you look at the tape like that?
I think it's hard to understand that, to be honest with you right now. And I think that, you know, again, I'm sure if KevinPatullo was here, he'd say exactly, you know, what the plan is, because every coach has a plan. Yeah. So this is not a knock. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I know more than KevinPatullo. I don't do that. You know, you guys know that. Yeah. You know, I just, when I'm watching, I feel like it's individual plays. You know, and obviously they hit the Goddard 22 yards, which they got the right coverage again for the play call. The Calcaterra was a bust. You know, they had some cool red zone concepts. The thing that's saving them is they've had 11 trips into the red zone and they've scored 11 touchdowns. That is what's saving them. I mean, that's remarkable that they've done that. Now, some of that is, you know, is the tush push, but you know what? Yeah. It's legal. It counts.
They got there. Yeah,
they got there. Exactly. Now they don't get there a lot relative to other teams, but the point is when they get there, they score touchdowns. But you know, there's usually individual. It's a combination. Let me put it this way, and
sure.
I'm trying not to just ramble, but this is the way my mind is working about the Eagles offense. I don't know what to make of it. It's a combination of no rhythm and individual plays. Like, for instance, the Vita Vea's second sack, which came on 3rd and 8 to end their third quarter possession. They used a spy for the first time. They didn't use a spy in the first half, but they used a spy for the first time. It was Reddick. They rushed 3, and they played kind of 2-man coverage behind it. McCollum undercut Brown on the dig route where clearly Jalen wanted to go with the football. That got taken away. I thought he clearly had Goddard as a check down in the flat. I don't know what you guys thought when you saw it. I thought he clearly had Goddard for a check down, and it was 3rd and 8, not 3rd and 15. So, again, I can't answer why he didn't throw it. I don't know the reason for that. Maybe he didn't think he had him. But then he gets sacked. So, like I said, it's a combination of no rhythm, and then you can look at individual plays as well.
Yep, many of these plays you referenced we're going to take a look at in a second. But I do want to ask you, because you watch every team virtually, and I guess one thing that makes the Eagles a very fascinating case study, because it seems like we're all sort of fascinated right now in a curious way of how they can be so up and so down.
Yeah.
Like for example, you go play the Chiefs. You know the Chiefs blitz, and you know exactly what Steve Spagnuolo is going to do, and yet they did not perform well as an offense against it. You know Todd Bowles is going to blitz, and you perform great against it. So it's mind-boggling to me that the two concepts are happening. You can do really well versus one and not the other, and they're both good teams. I know personnel is different, so that can change something. And then the Rams, they never blitz, but then they do blitz the Eagles a lot. More so than you're used to the Rams.
They normally do, yeah.
And then that sort of confused them, and then all of a sudden they wake up in the second half. They are just a mind-boggling team to me.
But they woke up in the second half with a lot of individual plays. You know what I'm saying? Like they hit A.J. Brown on individual plays, not on. I mean, obviously the Goddard they got the right play call for the right defense, and it looked beautiful as the seam route this week looked beautiful. But I guess what you don't see up to this point is you don't see a lot of sort of rhythmic route concepts and combinations that present the throw. And by the way, that's when that happens, people say, oh, great quarterbacking. Yeah. Obviously the quarterback has to make the throw, but that's what you want to see from the coordinator. You want to see route concepts and combinations that, particularly against zone. Okay. And by the way, the Bucs play more zone than man, where, it's clean. Hey, the route concept, whether it's 2-man, 3-man, whether it's half field, full field, whatever it is, that, hey, there's the throw within timing of the drop and everything. You're not seeing that right now. You see it just rarely, but you're not seeing it as a foundation.
I think that there's a core of the fan base that is in the middle that sort of would agree with our conversation here, where there's the extremists, which is smaller. The extremists are either in one camp or the other. It's either fire KevinPatullo, he stinks, or we won the Super Bowl last year like this. I don't care if it looks like we'll be fine, which is neither is a fair way to look at it. In the middle, everybody just seems to want to be like, yes, we're winning games this way. It's looking a little odd. We seem to make plays. When I say we had the Eagles, this is the fan talking. But I do think that there's that. But we remember 2023 and things just
Well, you're starting to hear a lot of analysts who we all respect say things like, is this sustainable? But no one can answer that, by the way. That's an unanswerable. It's a great conversation to have, and it's fun to talk ball. But no one can answer that, because the reality is they're 4-0. So right now they played 4 games, they won them all. They're playing a tough Denver team this week, which we'll talk about later in the week. Obviously, a team that's really good rushing the quarterback, and that sometimes does it with blitz and sometimes not. It depends on the opponent. So we don't know what Vance Joseph will think when he plays this week. We don't know the answer to that. Right. But there's no way in the building they're thinking, boy, we're playing great offensive football. We all know that that's not the case.
Yeah, exactly.
What is it, 130 yards per game passing?
138 yards per game, second worst in the league behind Tennessee.
Yeah, and they were bad. They were low, I should say, last year, but it was never. I don't think it was that low. I think they were more like 170 to 180.
Right.
And again, they had a great.
They also had a back rush for over 2,000 yards. And right now they don't have that.
Right.
The goal is to get explosive plays. Adam's talked about this 100 times. We all know it. That every offensive coordinator talks about, let's get explosive plays. Believe me, you're just as happy with a 60-yard Barkley touchdown run as you are with a pass.
Right.
5 yards or more, you want explosive run is 5 yards or more. John DiFilippo's total said 100 times. Yep. I can't even get that now, Geoff. We sent it back to you. That's the puzzling thing.
The guy who had the most explosive run was A.J. Dillon in this game, which was
that's right.
Is that right? Oh, man. There you go.
All right. So let's take a look at some clips. I want to start off with early in the game when they come out well, and it's to Greg's point where it looks like they had good rhythm and good sequence,
and they had and clearly had a plan. I mean, that's,
had a plan.
They had a plan, which makes sense. That's what you're. They know. Everybody knows Todd Bowles. You're playing against Todd Bowles, not necessarily against their personnel.
It's coming. It's going to be pressure. Yeah. They handled it very well. Hurts. I'll tell you one thing is positive. He started handling the blitz well, at least in this first half. He did.
Yeah. And we're going to get rid of it. We're going to look at that in 1 second. Yeah. First, let's pause to hear a word from our great sponsors.
Hey, you know that one guy in the group chat who hit a 5-leg parlay week 1 and he wouldn't shut up about it for the rest of the season? Sounds like Caplan, right? Yeah, it could be him. It could be you, and we would all want to be you. MyBookie makes it stupid easy to get in on the action, whether it's college ball, NFL, super contest, and survivor pools, all the spreads, player props, and in-game lines that you could want all under one roof. What more could you want than that? If you're new to MyBookie, use our code, THEBIRDS, THEBIRDS, THEBIRDS. Use the code, and any bet you choose up to $500 is fully covered. Make your play, and if it doesn't hit, you get it right back when you opt in using your bet back bonus token. There is no better time to jump in right now. No better place to play. Football is back. Let's make some money with MyBookie.
Sports are all about competition. Every snap, every possession, every clutch moment matters. That same energy is what 1v1 Me brings to video games. Every single day, you can watch and stake on matchups in Madden, NBA 2K, FC, and Call of Duty Search and Destroy. All the games are streamed live. Every match has refs, and payouts are instant. And these aren't just random online lobbies. These are the best players in the scene, pros, streamers, and rivals. With season playoffs and the championship game on the line, every game matters. Over $100 million has already been paid out on the app, and the community is growing fast. If you're a sports fan, a gamer, or just someone who loves having a little extra on the line, 1v1 Me is where you need to be. It's not just about winning, it's about the bragging rights too. Every match has a chat going crazy, and you can back your picks in real time. Download today and use code BIRDS. Your first stake on the app is risk-free. That's code BIRDS for a risk-free first stake. All right. Greg, this is the first third down that the Eagles face. It's 3rd and 8. I'm sure you recall this. And it's going to go to Devontae Smith for 16. Do you recall this play?
I think I do remember the play. Hold on. It was 3rd and 8, first possession. Was this the one? Wait, this isn't the quick slant to Smith for 9 yards, 3rd and 8 on first possession, is it?
No, I'm sorry. It was the 16-yard, I believe.
Okay. Go ahead. Yeah, but.
Oh, my bad. It was the 9. My fault.
Yeah, it is.
All right, let me start this over. 3, 2, 1. All right, Greg, this is the first third down of the game where Hurts is going to hit Devontae. And to your point, they were well prepared for the blitz. So what do you see the Bucs doing here?
Yeah, here the Bucs are going to go 0. They're going to go 0. They're going to rush 6. Now, again, there's different ways teams play 0 on the back end, but this is clearly a 0 presentation, and they're playing off coverage. So Jamal Dean is the corner down below. You can see him cheated to the inside. He's trying to take away the inside, which is what you try to do with 0. But he's so far off that he can't really impact this slant route. And Hurts sees it immediately, gets the ball right out. This is totally rhythmic, and he hits Smith on the slant, and he gets a first down. So it's, boom. It's easy. This is pitch and catch.
Right.
But, they were clearly prepared for that. Jalen knew exactly what he was looking at.
Right. And then a couple of plays later, he's going to find Dallas Goedert, I believe, for an 8-yarder.
Right. Yeah, well, I think they got the matchup here they wanted to with Goddard, because that's Yaya Diaby dropping out, because this is another blitz. This is a single high blitz. This is a zone pressure, because they have to match up, but it's technically a zone pressure. So you have to match up. You can't just let receivers run into areas and not match up. But they got exactly what they wanted. They got Goddard, a really good tight end, on Yaya Diaby, who's a nice athlete, but he's really he's a line of scrimmage edge player. So, it worked out perfectly. And Jalen knew it immediately, and they blocked it up enough so that the ball could come out, and boom. That's just good football.
Right. And then, of course, after a long JalenHurts scramble, which was
And this
about
is just a
26
highly schemed play that they probably put in this week because we haven't really seen it before. So,
Right.
or I can't remember seeing it before. I don't know
Nope.
if you guys have. Seeing before by the Eagles. I'm not saying I've never seen it.
These are typically like plays like this. Yeah, they might have run it for the first time in practice, but these are usually something that you've got in the back of your playbook that you're going to run,
Right.
and you just find it at some point. Okay, this is cool though. This is so cool.
I love it. I think
play.
Zach Berman. I love Zach Berman. I think he asked Nick why he chose this game to run it, and Nick was not going to volunteer. That kind of information of why it was this time. But that was a diamond, diamond formation. At the top of the screen, you see. I think that's Cam Latu.
Cam Latu is the closest to the formation,
right? Who did play a role in this game?
That's a cool play.
Yeah,
I mean, it's clearly, we see teams like the Chiefs, the Lions do all this cool kind of stuff when they get into the red zone. This is just another it's a really
Kelsey for years with the shovel pass. Yeah.
Right. So they get off to a really good start. They get a touchdown on their first drive. They go 3-and-out in the second drive, but then the third drive, Greg, it seems like they're back at it. And Goddard was really big for them as far as beating the blitz or.
Well, here's the play. Go back a sec. So they got the one against the Rams last week. A.J. Brown was just split outside of Goddard right at the snap. Here, he does short burst motion to get outside of him, but it ends up being the same thing, and they do that intentionally. It's into the boundary. They get cover 2 because why do they want to throw the seam into the boundary? Because the passing strength is to the wide side of the field, and so the Mike linebacker, I think here it's Dennis, is going to open up to the wide side of the field away from Goddard's seam. Yep. So this is Jalen sees this immediately. He knows what he has. When you see this, you just go, this is sweet. I mean, this is just the way it's supposed to be.
Right. This is the rhythm. This is the rhythm we're looking for.
Yeah, this is the way it's
supposed to be. Good job. Yeah, he got it out. He Greg, I thought he was very decisive in the first half. That this is what you want from him, but he doesn't hold on to it.
Absolutely, really well-timed throw because since they're rotating to it with that safety up top, he wasn't as deep as he might normally be. So if he had waited a millisecond longer, that might not have been complete. Goddard might have taken a shot there.
Right. But this is perfect time to throw.
Boom.
This is really good.
Good throw.
That's really good.
It's inside the numbers, by the way.
Yeah, inside the numbers and not a blitz, just a 4-man rush that forced him to throw.
It was cover 2. Right, cover 2 behind a 4-man pressure.
All right. So they're continuing to move the ball. Now, this is the busted coverage, I believe, that you alluded to that you're going to see Grant Calcaterra,
because he runs the shallow crosser, does he not?
He does.
Yeah, and everybody down below is they're playing man down below.
They can come back.
And,
got to cover him.
Someone busts. I don't know whether Smith, Tyke Smith, who ends up tackling him, who didn't have a man down below, was supposed to stay low, or if the player up top, who I don't know who that is, probably the corner. It's probably Dean
McCullum,
or Mark.
Right? Isn't 27 McCullum?
McCullum's down below. He's the left corner.
Okay.
You're right. Corner up top. I don't know if he was supposed to run with Calcaterra or if Tyke Smith was not supposed to run out the way he ran out, but somebody made a mistake.
Gotcha. So that's a busted coverage. But, we've seen Hurts not throw that mesh pattern, but he did see it, and he threw it, and the Eagles are continuing to move the ball. And so the next play, you're going to get 20. I believe this is 20 yards here.
Yeah, this is where he runs left, makes a second reaction, great throw to Smith.
This is big. This is what I talked about, Geoff, on the post game. I love how he kept his eyes downfield. I know he moved, but he still kept him downfield.
And also, Devonta Smith did a great job of adjusting his route to mirror Jalen. This was just good all around.
This is really good.
This is really good football right here.
This is a sim, right? Because it looks like they're going to come with. I think they.
Well, they're in a double mug. They have
right?
both linebackers there. They drop out. No, it's not.
Yep.
No, it's just right.
Yeah,
right.
It's just a 4-man, but it's not a blitz.
Right.
They're playing cover 3. They're playing cover 3 here.
Pressured, eyes downfield. Look, eyes downfield. Waits.
Here, and Smith does a great job
throw.
too.
Adjusted. Yep. Great job.
Give you a place to throw the ball.
As he's throwing the ball, it looks like he does a nice job, Jalen, here of resetting his feet and not just trying to throw right there. You see that little quick step that he took and was able to throw. So that was a nice job of resetting.
Good adjustment, but that's
really the good thing about it is he had to be aware of Morris in 21. He knew Smith was running away from whoever it was, but he had to be aware that Morrison that he wasn't going to slide inside and be in position to intercept that ball. So he had good eyes here, really good eyes.
Yeah. All right. And then I wanted to bring everybody. Well, the next play is then the shovel touchdown to Goddard. And so again, we're talking about play design and showing things that are fresh and new.
This is what you want to see. I mean, in the low red zone, if you're not going to do any of this stuff, here's what you end up with in the low red zone. If you don't want to do, these kinds of things, be a little creative. You either have to run the ball in, which we know they can, and they have. Well, they certainly could last year with both Barkley and Jalen, or you go with one-on-one fade type throws, or your quarterback has to be so quick with his reads, his timing, his anticipation, and his ball location. And quite frankly, we all know that Jalen, that's not truly the strength of his game. Okay. Mm-hmm. So they're at the 5-yard line and they come up with another, kind of cool play. I mean, we've seen this many times. It's not like they just came up with this, but you're looking for these kinds of things. It's well done.
Yep. They obviously sucker everybody into giving the ball to Barkley here. You got the tight end and the left guard or the right guard pulling. And there's a shot. By the way, nice blocking by Steen. If everybody can keep their eyes on 56 on that, I'll rewind it. I thought he did a pretty good job there.
He did.
Continuing to plow
really,
that.
Really well done stuff. Quarterbacks love this stuff because he's now got 2 touchdown passes, and he didn't have to do much to get the 2 touchdown passes. Quarterbacks love this stuff.
Great for fantasy, by the way. It's fantastic for fantasy. Right.
See, Steen finishes the block the entire way. I like that. Even though the runner's already in the end zone, I just like that toughness out of a guy. All right, so the last one is late in the second quarter. He's going to hit A.J. Brown. This was just another view of the last touchdown that we'll run through really quick. But late in the quarter, this might have been the last time Todd Bowles threw a huge blitz at JalenHurts, because it was, I believe, 3rd down again. It's late in the quarter.
It was 9 yards on 3rd and 5. It was another 0 pressure. This time Winfield was clean through the C gap. Mm-hmm. Brown beat Morrison on the quick slant, and Hurts got him the football. I mean, you see it up top. Morrison's playing press man. Boom. Brown is a master at this kind of stuff. They win 0. Jalen knew what he had, and he hit him.
Yeah. Now, the amazing thing on that one was I feel like there were some routes just like that in the second half that he just didn't hit the same way. And why, we will never know. It just didn't happen.
That's why it's so hard. I mean, the like I said, two things were done in the second half that were not done in the first half. Number one, as I said, they switched up a lot of their pressure concepts to more 4-man sim pressures as opposed to 5- and 6-man pressures. Mm-hmm. And number two, they started using the spy tactic.
Right. So I think you mentioned the spy on the Vita Vea sack, Greg?
Yes.
All right. Well, let's take a look.
The second Vita Vea sack, not the first one.
Correct. I think this is the one.
It's Reddick is the spy.
Yep.
You probably should know something is up pre-snap. Go back, because Reddick is lined up as a stand-up 3 technique, which he rarely lines up as. So that should be an alert that something is going to be different.
Right.
A pre-snap alert that something's going to be different.
Yes. For those who are listening or don't know he's lined up over Tyler Steen here.
Right.
Stand-up position. We used to call that the Joker a little bit, but yeah.
Right. So he's the spy.
Look at him wait. He's spying on her. Yeah, that's interesting.
3-man pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And see, the key here is what they're playing on the back end, because keep going. Okay. Hurts wanted Brown on the dig up top. Mm-hmm. This was dagger. Mm-hmm. Dagger. It's an inside vertical and a dig underneath it. But because they're essentially playing kind of a 2, I don't know if they call it 2-man, but it's a 2-man concept. Mm-hmm. And McCollum does a great job of undercutting the route. So the throw is not there.
Right. And that's the top of the screen there. Yeah.
See, I think this is the one where I thought he could have thrown it in the flat, but once he didn't, now again, I don't know what's in his head, but keep going.
Yeah, I just feel like if he just gets the ball right here to Barkley, he's going to get at least, if not a first down.
Well, I think because he's facing that way, I think he could get it to Goddard. It's 35.
He'd have to be out quickly.
The longer he waits, the less it's there. Yeah. But again, I don't want to sit here and say he should have, shouldn't have. I don't know what's in his head. Maybe he still thinks Brown's going to beat him inside and he's going to have a lane. I don't know. Or a passing window, but he didn't. And then he gets sacked.
All right. All right. Then we have a throw where I think you are alluded to this, where AJ Brown is at the top of the screen. And I swear we have played a play like this at least 3 or 4 times last year, once against Cleveland that stuck out, where it's one of those plant and throw and he just doesn't throw.
Yeah, I know the play you're talking about. Like you would think that he should throw this ball.
You would think, right.
Yeah. Keep going.
Again, just a 4-man rush because, as we mentioned,
right.
They've stopped blitzing and bam, right there at the 6. Because this
right
is
now, I don't know if he thought because it's a zone look all the way. I don't know if he thought that the defender over Goddard was going to slide into the passing window. Again, only Jalen could tell you when he's not going to tell you. He's not going to tell us or the world. So, because it's clearly a zone look. So if you want to give him the benefit of the doubt, he could have thought that defender over Goddard was going to pass him on, match, carry, deliver, pass him on and slide into the window.
Hey, that makes sense, and I can understand it. And we say one thing he does well is he'll either take
a
sack
it over.
He'll get rid of it. He winds up running here, doesn't get the
first down.
Oh, he does get that right. He got the first down.
Just got it.
Yeah. Right. All right.
So,
all right. So in the second half, he throws the ball to AJ Brown 3 straight times.
Yep.
As you mentioned, this is the first of the 3. I think it was at the fourth quarter. It was like starting their first possession of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, well, this is the fourth quarter for sure.
Yep. First, and then
this is actually very good coverage. I mean,
that's a tough one to complete. Exactly.
Again, the one thing people have to be aware of too is this is 3-step drop timing. So, if somebody thinks, oh, look down below, someone's open, that's not relevant to the play. It's 3-step drop timing, and he's looking to his left. Good. So the ball's got to go to Brown, or he's basically got to move. I mean, you're not working from one side of the field all the way to the other side of the field in 3-step drop timing.
Right. Now, why do you call that? Well, is it a blitz? It's still a 4-man pressure. It was first down. Yeah, it feels like they wanted something short to be in absence of a run.
Now, go back a sec. It looks like they rotated to cover 2. Let me see. It's cover 2 invert. Yep. So what happened is Morrison can sit. He's the right corner because Dean got hurt and Morrison came in and played 30 snaps or so. Is he can sit on this route because he's got help over the top because they rotated to cover 2 invert. The invert part was down below where the corner McCullum became the deep half defender. But up top, it's normal cover 2. And so what you're looking at here is the fact that Morrison can sit because he has Winfield as the deep half safety playing over the top of him. So, again, I don't know if Jalen recognized or didn't recognize it. That we can't answer. But because Morrison could sit, the throw was not clean.
Got it. And this is the very next snap.
And this is the one where he runs the sit route, and he thinks he has him because it looks clean, but the Bucs react really, really well.
So you would say this is just as good coverage as anything.
Well, he thinks that the slot is it the slot or is it Smith? Who's bouncing?
Smith goes and becomes the number 1 on that side. So Brown is still in the slot.
Right. I'm talking about Tyke Smith. Who's the guy that almost intercepts it? It might be Tyke Smith who kind of expands. Jalen probably sees him expanding and thinks that he's not going to be a factor in the throw.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he would have had to complete that. The ball had to come out about a half a second quicker.
I mean,
it's just too hard.
There's always a reason why guys make 99% of the time, every once in a while there's a true head scratcher, but when you walk through these plays, and I hope people understand that that's what I do, so I'm not going to sit here and say, oh my God, Jalen, you're an idiot. What are you doing? Oh, first of all, I never talk like that about players. You guys know that.
Right.
But I mean, there's always a reason why a guy can theoretically see a throw as a viable throw. Right. And I'm just trying to present both sides.
Yep. And I just wanted to show him trying to go to AJ Brown. Now this is on a 3-man rush, the very next play.
And there's a spy again. There's a spy.
Right. So I wonder if he thought more were coming because this is still early. And the Bucs haven't completely called off all the blitzes yet because this is the fourth quarter now. They haven't blitzed that much. My fault. Yeah, 3-man rush.
Stop.
And actually, Morrison
It's good coverage, too.
He does a nice job here. I mean,
Closed on it.
He kind of sits on it and plants and drives. I mean, he does a really nice job.
And so, sometimes, by the way, Geoff, you got to give the defense credits. Like they want to crush Hurts or the offense coordinator. The guy made a great play.
That's why we do this, because we want to show it's not always play calling. It's not always the quarterback's lousy. Sometimes you go up against a good defense, and the Bucs have a good defense, and they've been playing good defense. But I mean, you can look at it and say their rhythm, their timing was off on those first 3 plays as well. And sometimes you see them make that play, and it just wasn't there.
Or more in breakers. I think that's something that A.J. Brown, who's been incredible at it in his career. We've talked about it. I don't know how many times with the bang eight plays, Greg, with the Titans. We've seen the Eagles do it a little bit, but that's something that I think it's almost impossible to stop on A.J. because of the way he's built.
Right.
The DB always struggles to defend it.
Yeah, it's the way we started this. It's just hard to figure, guys. I mean, I'm being honest. For a quarterback to go 0 for 8 with no yards in a second half, it's hard to figure that.
Right.
We can go over, as we did, we went over a number of plays, and you go over each and every single play, and there's a reason for each and every single play, but it's, you just don't see that. I mean, you don't see 0 for 8 for 0 yards.
Yeah. Yeah. And real quick, just some Saquon Barkley. This is a 1st and 10 in the third quarter. Some of the things you said, you just don't either understand or know what the concept is. Is this what you call split flow, Greg, where you have both tight ends aligned on different sides of the line of scrimmage?
Well, that in and of itself isn't split flow. Flow is where you take someone from one side and he crosses the formation as a blocker. That's split flow. I don't think that happens here.
No, that didn't happen here. I just wanted to make sure I differentiated.
That's not.
What I noticed here is that you have 7, right? 5 offensive line, 2 tight ends against the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys in the box. They're under center. I don't know if the play's got to be changed in that, but you're at a blocking, I would think, disadvantage unless.
Well, he now goes across the formation.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So is that then considered?
Yeah, let's see the rest of the play. Yeah, that has a split flow element.
On block 8.
Okay, so it did. All right, that's right. But my point is, you have 7 blocking 8, and you didn't manipulate the numbers very well in this here, and you just had a free rusher. If you know, there's nothing Saquon could do at that point. I just feel like maybe you should have changed it.
That's not on Saquon,
right?
And again, we don't know their check system. We don't know all that stuff.
Correct. I just felt in my head like maybe someone could change the play there, but who knows? I mean, they have to see that they're running into a mathematical disadvantage.
Maybe it should have been changed.
Right. Yeah. All right. So this one, Juergens, I want you to keep your eye on, because this was another. This was a run that did not do well for Saquon, and it looks like he's usually good at those angle blocks, right, where you turn and block the guy, but he did not get up there and cover Servassier. Is that his name?
Servassier Dennis.
Yes.
What a name.
He's got to make that block. That's his guy. And the thing is, he doesn't have to make a great block. He just has to, cut him off.
Yeah.
But here's the other issue. Go back. Mm-hmm. Go back. Look at the way this is blocked. Why is Barkley cutting this back inside?
Great point.
Look at that. Why is Barkley cutting this back
inside?
First thing
I thought, why didn't he just keep going to the left? Yeah.
And if Barkley kept going, we wouldn't have even noticed.
Pop that hole. Yeah, it was. Yep. Right through the middle.
We did talk about easy pressing a little bit. This one is a pull. You have the left guard and the tight end pull to the right.
So Dickerson is the kick-out blocker, and who's the tight end? Goddard.
I think that one's Goddard on that side. It's either
he's the rapper.
Yeah. Yep, he's the rapper. And then what happens?
It looks
like Dennis gets off the block too easily from, I guess that's Calcaterra.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. So this is a guy getting off the block, because if you freeze it now, but just if you froze it as Calcaterra is just starting to make contact, that looks pretty good. It looks like that the rapper Goddard's going to get up, and maybe have no one to block, because you might get the crack block by Devonta Smith, I think that is, on Tyke Smith. And this looks like it might be a good game, maybe not a touchdown, but a good game.
Right. But, and all he needs is a sliver. We've seen him turn a sliver. Right. Yeah, but Calcaterra didn't hold it. So we've now seen.
Yeah, he got Calcaterra. Geoff lost his guy. He had him. Then Dennis got off of him.
So people are asking, what's the deal? Well, it's not. We've seen a mathematical disadvantage. We've seen Juergens not pull off an angle block. We've seen Calcaterra not pull off an angle block.
And we've seen Barkley not hit a hole that was clean.
Right. And now we're going to see Jordan Mailata on a run, who I believe is the culprit here, if this is the correct run.
Yeah, he missed him.
He missed him.
Yeah. So that's 5 different runs.
And it's funny, all these things sort of snowball. That's the thing. When things are great, everything looks great and everybody does, plays well. When they start to snowball, guys you never expect to have a bad rep, like when does Mailata look like this in the run game? Very rarely, right?
Right.
I mean, so it all just starts to snowball.
And you've been telling us about Juergens and Dickerson not quite what they were last year. Is that still the case?
In my opinion, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then on this last one, it's gonna be 3 in a row, because this one, I believe, look at it, it's 22 personnel. You got 2 tight ends, you got your fullback, 36 lot 2. So you're heavy, but watch the right guard, Tyler Steen here.
Oh, he got right by him. Jeez.
Turnstile. I mean, so it's not
what's Barkley supposed to do? What's Barkley supposed to do?
That's my point. Is it's just not one thing here. A lot of things.
It's never one thing. If anybody listening, people listening should know it's never one thing.
Right.
Definitely not.
Yeah. I don't know if he even can. The way the other guard is pulling Dickerson here, Greg, it seems like it's hard for. I don't know. There's a lot of traffic because it looks like Dickerson and Steen basically run into each other.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
true.
First of all, what happens here is who is that over Steen? It's probably a guy. Is that the Simmons kid who I didn't know much about? He's more of a one technique here. So,
Gaines got hurt. By the way, Greg Gaines got hurt in the game.
Yeah,
right, it was Simmons. Yes,
and that's that's a tough block. I mean, it's because he's got to hit him and move him right away so that there's room for the puller to get past him.
Right, and even Latu can't get there in time to get Simmons off.
No.
So it's funny, Greg. After your comments earlier, I'm like, all right, we'll see. If we see it. Now I see it. Everything you were saying, you're trying to figure out. Part of it's the offensive line is not playing anywhere nearly as well as it did last season. I'm not saying Barkley's been perfect. You showed a play that Barkley didn't hit the hole, and the holes are not as big as they used to be. But Greg, you have that stat where it's 4 yards before contact last year, which is incredible.
And this year, 1.87 right now.
So you're talking about less than 2 yards before contact.
Hey, fall is planting season. Did you know that many plants and trees actually do better when planted this time of the year? But you got to know where to start, and that's why I love fastgrowingtrees.com. Doesn't matter if you live in the sunny south or if the air's getting a little chilly where you are, the plant experts can help you find the perfect fit for your space. They've got everything your yard needs: fruit trees, privacy trees, shrubs, flowering trees, so much more. And Fast Growing Trees makes it so easy for you to have your dream yard because you can order online and get your plants delivered directly to your door. If you're like me, you're tired of spending way too much money on landscaping. And if you walk into one of those nurseries and you look at all the stuff they have, you have no idea where to begin. That's why you need fastgrowingtrees.com. Doesn't matter about the size of your yard. They got over 6,000 plants to fit any space, and a 14-point quality checklist ensures you will get the best quality plants possible. This fall, they have the best deals for your yard, up to half off on select plants and other deals. And listeners to our show get 15% off their first purchase when using the code BIRDS at checkout. 15% off at fastgrowingtrees.com using the code BIRDS at checkout. Now's the perfect time to plant. Use BIRDS to save today. The offer is valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions may apply. Check out the link below or in the show notes and support the show. Hey, Philly fans, game day is stressful enough. Parking, traffic, long lines. We've all been there. But when it comes to your cannabis, Camden Apothecary makes it easy. This is the dispensary for sports fans, just minutes outside of Philly with plenty of free parking. You'll be in and out fast, no hassle, no waiting. And they don't just care about convenience. Camden Apothecary is all about the guest experience. Their staff makes sure you feel taken care of every time you walk in. Plus, they carry only the best quality cannabis at the fairest prices. So whether you're stocking up for the tailgate, the watch party, or celebrating a big win, you know you're getting the good stuff without overpaying. They even show love to the community with specials for fans, students, service members, and healthcare pros. Camden Apothecary, top quality cannabis, great prices, and an experience made for Philly fans 21 and up.
That's an offensive line issue.
Yeah. Well, that's why I really picked those plays. I mean, those plays all jumped out, but I wanted to say it's all something, but I definitely think with those 5 clips, 3 of them were on offensive line. So I think that's the biggest thing you can isolate right now and say, what's different? All line just not playing as well.
And I think we have to be careful about, picking out like one good play, and I'm not talking about you, Geoff. I'm talking about as we watch the Eagles ideally get better on offense than just picking out one play. Like let's say they play Denver and their defense plays great and they beat Denver 20-17. Okay, just throwing that out. But their offense is still not great, but they hit a play or two. You have to be careful about then saying, okay, they're back.
They're back because they're individual plays, which is what you've been talking about.
Plays.
Right, I get it.
That's actually why I like doing the sequence the way we did it with both Hurts and Saquon to show everybody. All right, so that is a look at the offense, some of the good things you saw against the blitz, some of the bad things you saw in the second half from the running game. In the next episode, we will do the defensive side of the football, a lot more positives there. All right, so for Inside the Tape, for Greg Cosell and Adam Caplan, I'm Geoff Mosher. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you all on the next one.